Has Labour abandoned law and order? In this video, Laila Cunningham joins Jeremy Kyle on TalkTV to confront the surging knife crime, prison chaos, early releases, and the leadership failures now threatening our streets. We also examine the timeless leadership principle of law and order, which is essential for trust and stable government. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
We woke up today and watched yesterday in almost abject horror. Police are still trying to find two prisoners who were released by mistake from Wandsworth Prison last week. The first, of course, is this Algerian sex attacker, a man who should have been deported 5 years ago, point one, who was released by mistake 6 days ago, point two. Nobody seemed to tell anybody in the police from the prison service. And then we had hapless David Lammy, that joke of a justice secretary. He isn't even decent enough to wear a poppy, for God's sake, standing up and saying, I know nothing about it, I know nothing about it. And whilst he was doing it and everybody knew he was lying, another man, Billy Williams, who had just been released, had just been told to go to prison for 45 months, was released just after he'd been given his sentence. Wandsworth Prison, the prison service. What a joke, Laila Cunningham. Embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean, these aren't just mistakes. I mean, they're a symptom of a justice system that's just lost control. Foreign offenders are walking free. Apparently, the Prime Minister found out a week later. And what on earth is an Algerian man with a previous sex offence conviction still in this country? Why is he still here?
Yeah.
Let alone being released from prison by mistake. Foreign criminals should be deported automatically, full stop. If you break the law, and for me, that law is entering the country illegally at that point, then you lose your right to stay.
I find it, and Lammy, did you watch Lammy's performance? I mean, somebody said to me this morning that if something happened to Keir Starmer, who's bad enough, that buffoon would be the leader of the United Kingdom.
They don't care. It's the same pattern. The political class make the mess, but it's ordinary people like us that live with it. It's like, they've run out of prison space and, they're like, 6%, crime's going to go up by 6% more. You know what? You should just suck it up, the public, because we can't afford new prisons. But actually, you know what? We're sending 13 billion in foreign green aid while crime rises here.
But when you brought up the prison thing, which is the other story today, this government is so hapless. Its latest plan is to radically reform sentencing in the most ridiculous way, which is to basically say, just serve 30% of your time. We'll get you out. That'll get criminals on the streets, but don't worry about that. We can put more people in prison and then let them out after 30% of the time. But the police already going against Labour and saying crime will rise by as much as 6% in a single year. We are not paid to spout being anti-anything. We're paid to look at all sides of the argument. But you cannot, with a brain cell in your head, anybody not look at this government and just go, what a hapless bunch of ideologically based, reality removed. I just don't get how bad they are, Laila.
Sometimes I feel it must come from a fundamental hatred of the British public.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. They know what the public wants.
Yeah.
Like you said with your previous guest or something, you said, polling shows that, people want public safety and they've deprioritized public safety again. You feel like every time there's a choice between protecting the public or protecting the system or their political position, they choose the system. And instead, and we're paying the price.
Maybe, as somebody said to me this morning, they know there's not a cat in hell's chance of them being re-elected in 29, and they're just going full steam ahead. But again, you make a really good point. Common sense. Where is the common sense? If you know the public are interested massively in, law and order, cheaper electricity, lower taxation, a strong border, all the things that Reform and other parties, I accept that, talk about. Why do you blatantly do the opposite? Are you that warped? Are you that in belief that you're right, that you're ignoring the majority, which is why Reform is riding as high in the polls as it is, because it seems to be the only party right now that is listing it as its finger on the pulse of the British people.
And they can't, all they do is smear us. They can't attack us on any of our policy. They want to take away they want to remove prison sentences from anyone who gets 12 months or less. The sex offender in Epping got 12 months.
Yeah.
Does that mean under his new rules, would he even serve that? Would he see the inside of a cell? And it sends the most, I'm so angry because it sends the worst message possible. It tells every offender in the country, you know what, there's no consequences. Break the law, you'll get a community order, which is really not that much. And you'll get another chance. But you know what, Jeremy, victims don't get a second chance at life.
Absolutely.
That 14-year-old girl, she's going to be scarred for life emotionally.
Couldn't agree more. Listen, it's lovely to
build new prisons. Protect the public first. But the problem is, Jeremy, we have a government that really doesn't share our fears.
I think that's the frightening point. And you nailed it, that we have a government that is neither proud of this country. I mean, you know that the number one rule of any elected government is to protect its population. And if you look at the fact we're allowing thousands of unvetted young men, not families, so don't start on me, into this country to commit crime along with other criminals who now hear that if you do commit a crime, you'd only have to serve about a third of the sentence, so why not go ahead with it? It got it all wrong. There's no police men and women on the streets for fear of upsetting people. We seem to make excuses for the perpetrators of crime and do absolutely, as you quite rightly say, nothing about the victims. And as for that weasel in London who you're going to beat, I don't know. DEI all day and does nothing, absolutely nothing, about a knife crime epidemic. Bizarre.
Not only that, he hasn't even commented on the 9,000 cases that the Met's reviewing for the rape gangs. 9,000, they got 9,000 cases wrong.
Yeah.
They have to review it. Where's the statement on that?
Well, you know, there's no statement because he's hamstrung like the Labour Party is, because they're concerned they'll lose a proportion of the vote across the UK. And that's it. Exactly
that. And the message to victims and the public is, you know what, your safety is optional.
Yeah.
Your safety is only important to us if it's convenient for us.
Without law and order, chaos permeates the nation. No society can release convicted criminals early or by mistake and expect safety to remain. This shows either negligence or disregard for public protection. Law and order stands as a timeless leadership principle built on the human need for stability, predictability, and justice. A government that speaks firmly yet acts weakly only encourages crime to continue. Illegal migrants should not be permitted to stay in the country at taxpayers' expense. When people enter without identification, no one knows who they are or where they came from. They should not be allowed to enter or remain. Fishermen fish and criminals commit crime. Not every illegal migrant is a rapist or murderer, but without being able to identify them, no one can tell. The foundations of good government rest on justice and rights. Rights carry responsibilities for citizens and the government alike. Justice stays consistent. Rights stay protected and responsibilities stay enforced only through a reliable system of law and order. From the beginning of time, stable government required law and order to ensure the stability and longevity of the nation. History proves that when law and order fails, the nation fails with it. Some claim we still have law and order, yet citizens face one standard while illegal migrants face another. Some call it two-tier care. Open borders are a slap in the face of law and order and result in rising crime and violence. These problems connect directly to law and order. Impartial justice. Weak borders cost more than money. They strain housing, services, and security. Taxpayers foot the bill for people who contribute nothing. The government keeps the hands of the police tied. Without authority given the freedom to act, justice fails and safety vanishes. The primary duty of any government is to protect its citizens. That means secure borders, full prison terms, and streets free of crime. Funds sent abroad to protect other nations must stop until our country stands fully secure. Stand for law and order. Hold leaders to this timeless principle so justice prevails and our nation stays strong. How important do you think law and order is to the survival of Britain? Let me know in the comments. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.